Hello, folks, and welcome to your Day Weather Podcast on this Friday, the 13th of September. I'm Day Weather Meteorologist Mark Huer. Nothing to be superstitious about with your podcast and forecast here today. We have good-looking weather conditions coming up. Drier here in the near term with some up and down temperatures. We're going to be looking at seasonal temperatures across much of the Rocky Mountain West and High Plains today. Mostly dry as well in the wake of yesterday's cold front and vigorous low pressure system that is now off to our north. Warmer temperatures and mostly dry conditions return to all the Great Basin, Rockies, and High Plains for this weekend. A little bit of some shower or thunderstorm activity possibly across sections of the High Plains late Saturday into Sunday. Otherwise, though, looking high and dry for pretty much all the western United States over the next couple of days. But we're going to be trending very active for the third week of September. So next week, the western half of the United States going to become very active and is the first lower elevation frost or freeze in sight. We'll talk about all of this here in today's podcast. Let's start with a few viewer submitted photographs. This is from Tim Norris out of Monument, Colorado. Really nice cloud to ground lightning strike associated with an incoming shower and thunderstorm. From Carl Bronis up in the Wind River Valley. So here in Wyoming, somewhere around the Riverton, Lander, Pavilion area, a lot of haze and smoke in the sky, and it's from the Fish Creek fire up west of Du Bois. The Fish Creek fire, thankfully, got some good moisture over the last 36 to 48 hours. Some much cooler temperatures as well have kept the activity much lower, but it will be picking up some as we head into and through the weekend with the warmer and drier conditions. And finally, from Ron Nelson out of Wheatland, Wyoming, a very nice double rainbow. Look at the deep colors with this lower rainbow from a rain shower in the evening hours. So what do we have going on in the overall weather pattern? Building trough in the Gulf of Alaska. Remnants of our trough across the western United States that brought rain, high country snowfall, showers and thunderstorms, and some wind to much of the northern and central Rocky Mountains and Great Basin. Some really good moisture fell on some long time burning fires across sections of the inner Rocky Mountain West and Great Basin. So that was good news. This low pressure system going to continue to track off to the northeast. It's also starting to lose a lot of its available moisture, so remaining precipitation here in the near term today into Saturday going to be minimal as it works its way into central Canada. Out over the Great Lakes area, we do have a high pressure system that's going to be a pretty stagnant or blocking high over the next few days, and that is going to play a role in our weather. It's also going to keep what's left of Hurricane Francine, now just a low pressure system. It's pretty well stagnant as well. A lot of ongoing rain from the dying hurricane, tropical storm, and now just tropical low pressure system across the southeastern United States. Still going to have ongoing flooding concerns in portions of the central and southern Mississippi River Valley, Tennessee River Valley, and the southeastern United States as a whole. Fast forwarding to Monday. High pressure in the east barely moves. What was left of Francine barely moves, but out here in the west, we have a digging trough of low pressure. It's going to be digging and staying pretty well out across the western half of the United States, thanks to the stagnant high pressure in the east. Not going to allow it to quickly move on, and it is going to bring some widespread on and off periods of showers and thunderstorms to many locations throughout the western half of the United States. We have the main low that's going to dig into the southwestern United States, secondary low that'll come into the northern Rockies, and it is going to be with us for several days next week. Precipitation for the 48-hour period for Saturday into Sunday and early Monday. Showers and thunderstorms starting to work their way into the southwestern United States thanks to a better fetch of moisture out of Mexico, some subtropical moisture. This moisture out here in the high plains, some shower and thunderstorm activity Saturday night into Sunday across sections of Wyoming and also Kansas. Not expecting severe weather. Then from that deepening trough, incoming rain and even, yes, some high country snow going to start to overtake the western United States. And this is some fabulous news for the Pacific Northwest, which has been overall so warm and dry this summer season. Now, even further next week, all the way to next Thursday, you can see not a lot of change. Still have high pressure actually retrograding a little bit to the east. Big trough throughout here in the west, ridge out in the east, and nothing really moving as we are going to be in a blocking weather pattern. These two low pressure systems not strengthening a whole lot, but this double barrel low, elongated trough of low pressure, going to be producing some good rain, central and southern Great Basin, part of the western Rockies, southwestern United States, while this guy up here takes care of the northern Rockies and plains, getting some good feed of moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico with the clockwise rotation around this high. Likewise, plenty of moisture coming in out of the Pacific. So this is going to be a wet scenario across sections of the Great Basin, Rockies and High Plains. And here is the 3-day precipitation total ending, forecasted total ending early Thursday morning. Additional showers and thunderstorms from Tuesday, Wednesday into early Thursday. Widespread rain and also higher elevation snow starting to overtake the northern and central Rockies and High Plains. And this is really going to help out fire conditions across eastern Oregon, Idaho, northwestern Wyoming, and also western Montana. Showers and storms in the southwestern United States, even part of the Texas Panhandle, picking up some additional needed moisture. Like we've mentioned, it's not all in the form of rain. High country snowfall starting to fall throughout the northern Rockies. Also, portions of the Sierra Nevada is even going to be looking at some snow from that cold low pressure system towards the middle to end of next week. Touch of snow through some of the central Rockies and Uintas out into the Utah area. And we very well could be looking at some snow as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week in some of the lower valleys across sections of western Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, and possibly even northern Utah. But is the first frost or freeze in store for lower elevations? Doesn't look like it at this time for elevations below about 6,000 feet. But as we get into the middle and latter half of next week, if you live 6,000 feet or thereabouts and above, there will be the threat of your first frost and or even freeze. And that's especially true from about 6,500 to 7,000 feet and above. Colder temperatures mean the fall colors are going to start to really take off across the United States. This is for today, the Friday for the 13th. Some low colors starting to develop across the higher elevations in the western United States. As we head towards next Friday, well, things really do start to boom as far as our fall foliage goes, even out into the northeast and into the deciduous forests of the northern Great Lakes and plains starting to turn. And we're going to be approaching moderate to even some peak levels late next week across much of the Rocky Mountain West. So keep that in mind if you're trying to plan your fall color viewing. Might be fighting some rain and snow though. And then by the end of the month, or almost the end of the month, the following Friday, the 27th of September, many higher elevations across the western United States have now peaked or near their peak, and the lower elevations are really starting to see the fall colors turn as well. Thanks for watching today. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.